ברוכים הבאים חברים, נוודים דיגיטליים ישראל, לייב על בואנוס איירס, עם פוקוס לנוודים דיגיטליים. אני מארח היום את טאטו גרמן, I hope I say and pronounce the name correctly, correct me later if I'm wrong. חלק מסדרת לייבים שאנחנו עושים באופן קבוע גם בקהילה, חלק מהמאסטר מיינדים שיש לנו בקהילת אקספלור, אם אתה עדיין לא שם אז תעשו לי ולכם טובה ותצטרפו, חוויה אחרת של קהילה. בואנוס איירס, יעד שלא צריך לעשות לייב עליו בשביל לדבר כמה הוא לייב מעניין, חם, מעולה לנוודים דיגיטליים, מדהים למטיילים, תמיד היה על המפה של המטייל והמטיילת הישראלים, אבל בשנים האחרונות מקבל עוד יותר במה, הופך להיות יעד מאוד מאוד מעניין לנוודים דיגיטליים, גם בגלל עלויות המחייה, גם בגלל היופי של המדינה, התשתיות הטובות, מדינה מודרנית, מאוד נעימה לטייל ולהסתובב בה, ולא סתם היא מככבת בטופ 10 של נומד ליסט כבר תקופה מאוד ארוכה, נכנסת ויוצאת לפי העונות, אבל זה מקום מדהים. And this is why I'm having you here, Tato. Thank you very much for joining us. I was just talking a little bit about Buenos Aires as being on the top of the destinations for digital nomads nowadays. And I asked you, and thank you for saying yes, to come join us, talk about Buenos Aires as a digital nomad, hear about your experience as an Argentinian, and of course, as someone who's been a top voice and a leader in the digital nomad community internationally, but specifically in Argentina, and even more specific in Buenos Aires. So thank you again for taking the time to join us here. And if you can, in how long as long as you want, to tell us a little bit about yourself, what is that keeps you busy nowadays?
Okay, let's start. Thanks for the invitation. For me, it's an honor to be here explaining something that it took a lot of time to develop. We were working for many years with the community of digital nomads. Now it's like a new trend for many many countries, but I know that many people like Dim and others, they were developers for communities for years. Let's go for the beginning of our community here in Buenos Aires. I started this in 2014. I used to travel as a digital nomad. I was visiting many countries, and that was the year where I found the book of Tim Ferriss. Maybe you know the 4 Hours Work book.
The Bible of Nomads, of course.
It's the real Bible, true. And yet he explained very well how he developed a business, and he used to run the business from all over the world. And that business was working with a personal assistant living in other countries, and he was flying to Argentina. He was dancing tango in Argentina. Even in the book, he explained all the experience here in this beautiful country. For me, it was like, as Dean say, a Bible, it was like, okay, this is the way, you can travel and work. And nobody was talking about this new way of live, because it's a lifestyle, it's not a profession. And as I am a traveler, I used to be a backpacker, and I used to, of course, write a blog, take a lot of pictures, but I used to publish everything in Blogspot. I feel very old saying these platforms, but now it's more easy to talk about your travels, about your knowledge. We have a lot of ways to communicate what we like to do. But in that time, it was more difficult to even get information from other countries. We used to fly to a country without know if internet was working cool, as a freelancer, you have to adapt a lot to give a good service to your clients, and also try to live as a digital nomad. Even now, it's not easy to fly, have everything set up, and keep your business. But in that moment was really, was a big experience, nonstop. And in 2014, after 2 years of travel as a digital nomad, I came to Buenos Aires, and nobody was talking about this. It was like something very new. And I say, we have to create a community, and we have to connect people who want to travel and be a digital nomad. And in 2015, I launched the first meetup with 40 people. I think that nobody was there knowing what is going on also. It was like a new, even for the people who come to the meetup here in Argentina. And that first meetup, I remember very well. I invite a speaker from Italy. He don't speak Spanish, so it was all in Italian. Our first speaker was like funny. He was very cool. And the second speaker was a life coach, So yeah, that was our first meetup. For me, it was like, it was my first event, and I didn't feel well about that event. I was thinking it was the first and the last. But the next week, a lot of people start to write me, Nicholas, when is coming the next one? And I say, really? You want another one? And they say, yes, please, we want another one. We want to know more about digital nomads. So I say, okay, let's launch another one. So I launched the second one. It was with 60 people. Then I launched the third one, 100 people. And then one co-working from Argentina called me and say, why we don't create the community here in our place? Okay, nice co-working in the best point of Buenos Aires, which is Palermo, full of pubs, bar, and startups. So that was the best place for grow up our community. And after 2 years, we launched the DNX here in Buenos Aires, the first conference for digital nomads in Latin America. And it was amazing because 1,000 people come to the conference. And that was 2017. It was like, wow, how this topic was, so was growing like this, 1,000 people in a place trying to know more about digital nomads. We went out for the newspaper, magazines, radio, all the people started to talk about this, and was like amazing. So in 2018, I think, why we don't open a co-living space for digital nomads? And I decided to open the first co-living here in Latin America. And also, yeah, it was a project for me because I will be honest, I am a digital nomad, but also I am an entrepreneur. So I visit few buildings. I found one build and I rent a complete place, 30 flats. And I say, okay, let's open the co-living here. Okay. So
you are talking a lot about like history that I wonder how many of our listeners and participants here familiar with. Like DNX was one of the first events for nomads. They did amazing job, and it just reminds me that Digital Nomads Israel, the community started in 2018, and very much like you, same experience. It really resonates with me. I came to Israel after traveling for 4 years and nobody was talking about it. It was happening, but no one was talking about it. It was not a non-topic, and I started the community and I invited some people that I knew, and had the first meetup. We had 8 people, and it was like, okay, is it the first and last one, or this is going to be a second one? And then like 43,000 people later, it's amazing how this snowball effect and how big this lifestyle is now. And sorry that I cut you. Like, so you started to talk about the co-living. So you got yourself the space, and what's the name of the co-living?
Nomad Hub. Yeah, that was 2018. So we started with that project. In the same year, we launched DNX in Barcelona. So I traveled to Spain. Yeah, we started to build community inside buildings. That was a way to grow up our tools, and to learn more about how is to build community. Because I know that many people talk about community and experience, but not many people know how to create experience. So that is a way to try and learn. We start to launch like one event per week in the co-living space. We start also to try different way to build community, as we launched the Olympic Games in the co-living space, and it was full of games with beers and music and DJs. Also, we create the co-living awards. We start to give like awards for the people who was living there, and I don't know, the workaholic of the co-living, or the most funny guy of the co-living. So we start to create a lot of dynamics, and the community start to grow, and was very, very nice that we reached the possibility to launch something like this in Argentina, because this is a country where we have a lot of economic situations. Every year we have a crisis, a different one, but every year we have one. So to be an entrepreneur here, it's a challenge nonstop. So I think in 2019, I got another building. So we start to manage 100 flats. And in 2020, everyone knows what happened. So we cut the project, we make a stop, and we start from the beginning. We come back to 2 flats. Yes, that was the
that's the reality of so many businesses.
yeah. But to be honest,
yeah.
now 2022, now we have 5 buildings and 200 flats. So
Wow.
yeah, we
I think
changed
many nomads, people like you, had the resilience to deal with the unknowns that COVID, because you're an entrepreneur, you know that something will hit the fan, and if something can go wrong. But it's amazing how you bounce back. You said 200 apartments right now?
Yeah.
And all of them are for nomads, or it's also you do like any tourists that want to
Yeah, we have a mix. We have a 50% for tourists and 50% for digital nomads. In winter, it's more easy to have 70%, 80% for tourists. But when the summer comes here, we change the business model. So yeah, we as digital nomads. Yeah, I know that digital nomads like to go to place where it's sunny and warm, and also the beach is a good background for the digital nomads. But also you have people who like the mountains. There are digital nomads who like cities. Other one likes more like nature and go for like far places. I think once that you have this possibility of travel, you start to try to you start to visit
explore.
many places as you can.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
I know it for myself for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, it's when you start to take small bites from world travel, you get a lot of appetite to travel. I want to jump, because I know that we have limited time here, and I want to jump to today, to like August 2023. You one of the founders, or the founder of Nomads Buenos Aires. You've been very active in the local community, and the conversation now in my community in Digital Nomad Israel, is part of it is about Buenos Aires. I shared the Nomad guide for it. I'm planning my trip myself. I will come visit you in the end of September. Most likely I will come for a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks to explore Buenos Aires for myself for the second time. The first time was amazing, but I feel like there's so much more to discover. And a lot of people curious about, okay, everybody knows about Bansko for nomads, Chiang Mai for nomads, Bali, Kopanjan for nomads. And each one has its own magic. If it's Bansko, it's the festival and the community, and Kopanjan and Bali, of course, with the beach and nature. And I feel that Buenos Aires has so much of everything. It has nature, an hour drive away, has a proper beach, amazing nightlife, great cost of living if you're a foreigner coming from the US or Israel. can really get a very good quality of lifestyle. And if you can share a little bit more about the community for digital nomads, how is it now? Are there people there? Are they meeting? How is it going about co-living, co-workings? Is the scene as it looks like on the advertisement and on Instagram?
Yeah, we have a lot for offer here in Buenos Aires. We launch a meetup every week with 100 people. So you will connect with a lot of digital nomads and also locals. Also, we have a lot of co-working space. I can't, I don't know, name now like 20 different companies. You can find place to work as coffee in Palermo, coffee shops. The coffee shops here are so nice, so cool. You can work in an amazing place with nice music. Also, Buenos Aires is very safe if you compare to other countries in Latin America. If you go around Palermo, you will find very comfortable with the community, with the locals, and also you will find a lot of people who like to welcome the expats and the digital nomads. So you can talk to anyone in the street, and the people is very kind, and they love to talk to foreign people because we love to travel. And now, if you cannot travel, you can talk to travelers, and you can learn a lot of other countries. That is why when we run the meetups, we have a lot of locals coming on also. Yeah, also what is happening now? Yeah, with the economy.
You mentioned something that people, the locals are very nice and keen to talk to people. This has been like, I've been to Portugal recently, and there were protests, and someone held a sign like "Go home, digital nomads" or something like that, and now everyone thinks that the Portuguese don't like nomads, which is completely untrue. But is there any resistance in the local community for digital nomads, or are we truly welcome? Because you tell me 100 people coming to the events, locals and international, that's amazing. That's like, I don't remember in Bali or Canary Islands meetups with 100 people coming to them on a weekly basis.
Yeah, to be honest, here we love people who come from other countries because we are son of Italians, and many people come from Europe, and you will find that many of the Argentinians have the Italian passport. We are travelers also. Long time ago, our grandparents jumped to here without have nothing of information. They were very brave to cross the sea, and I think we have that spirit. We are a country built by expats, the old expat, I mean. But now I think that Argentina, it's a place that love to receive people from other countries. And you will find also people from Latin America who come to live here. They will say that Argentinians are very nice. I mean, people from Bolivia, Paraguay, Venezuela. And many people say that Argentina are a kind of arrogant. I don't know. We have that famous, which is not very cool. But
everyone.
Yeah,
I think Israelis can live with it. So.
Yeah, and also, we are the world champions of the of the soccer. So we have our ego as many, as many people, but it's not that bad as they say,
Yeah, not ego, just say patriots. But I can understand it. And Argentina, and if people have been, they know it's really a country that reaches of everything. If you travel to some countries like Peru, has the nature and the history, and has a big culture of food, and if you go to Brazil, they have the samba and the language and a lot of other things. I feel like Argentina has everything for food, for wine, for culture, for music, for sports, for nature. I think I only, Buenos Aires is only the tip of the iceberg of Argentina, such a vast country. There's so much to explore. Like I was planning today, I was sitting a little bit on my plan for my visit at the end of September, and it's like, okay, I'll go for a week. Oh no, I'll go for 2 weeks. And I ended up like, for now, I'm already 3 weeks into my trip, and I feel like I need to make it 2 months. So my question for you, a first timer, someone who visits Buenos Aires specifically for the first time, how much time do you think they will need to book for themselves? And what will be the cost? I don't know, maybe for a month or for a week, like cost of living, accommodation, food, co-working maybe, and going out, living normal life.
Yeah, I know that now with inflation, we are a very affordable country. So you can live here with $1,500 without problem in a nice flat in Palermo, which is like the more trendy neighborhood here. Of course, now we have a low-cost airplane. It's a fly bondi. So you can travel, I don't know, to the other corner of the country with, I will be honest, $20. And you can really jump from one corner to the other corner. It's very cheap.
How much is a coffee, or how much is a meal if you go sit for lunch in a normal restaurant?
It's like, yeah, you can have a dinner for 2 person with, yeah, maybe $15, $20.
Oh, wow. That's with wine?
With wine, yeah, and I mean in a good restaurant, yeah, like,
yeah,
with a lot of plates, yeah. We have also a lot of nice places for eat here, like Peruvian food. You can try everything here in Buenos Aires. I was eating Korean food here, 100 from here, 100 meters from here. You can also try the fish here. We have a very good plate of fish, and the asado, which is the most famous food of Argentina, which is the meat. Also, people who like to dance, we have a lot of clubs, we have a lot of parties. We like electronic music here. I know that people from Israel also dance a lot. So, yeah. And also we have different neighborhoods, like San Telmo, it's the place where you can learn tango, you can dance tango, you can see the history of Buenos Aires. Then we have the, the hipster place with more trendy coffees in Palermo, and also we have a lot of places to have a good food, to connect with other people. Also, we have the Tigre, which is the natural, totally natural. You can live in a cabin without a big budget next to the river, and you can really be very relaxed here. And also, if you want, we have the beach here, just 3 hours from Buenos Aires. So you can see the sea if you want. It's not far away.
Buenos Aires also has a beach, no?
Yeah, of course. We are just 3 hours from here. The name of the city is Mar del Plata. And also there are digital nomads there,
The beach in Buenos Aires itself in the city is not usable?
It's not usable. We have a place called La Reserva Ecológica, which is next to the Rio de la Plata. So we are next to the river. You will see the river from many different points, but it's not for swim. But anyway, it's not far from here, the sea, if you want to go to the beach.
The name of Buenos Aires people, the nickname is Porteños because of the port, of Buenos Aires.
Nice. I think Colombia has a similar system of naming Costaliano or something like that. I have a question. So I have $1,500, which Billy, I understand. If you live in Palermo, which is known to be the nicest neighborhood, what other neighborhoods would you recommend nomads to stay in? And then I'll ask you the second question.
Yeah, I love Colegiales, because Palermo is getting expensive now, so many people is going to the next neighborhood, which is Colegiales. It's just on the left of Palermo. Also Chacarita, we have the best pizzerias here for sure, because we're a mix of Italian with Spanish people, so you will try very good pizzas. And the best pizzas are on Corrientes Street, which is the downtown of Buenos Aires. So we have a monument in the middle of the city called Obelisco. I don't know if anyone see a picture of that, but next to the Obelisco, you have a lot of theaters and also bookshops. And we say that Corrientes is the street that never sleeps because the bookshops are open 24 hours. And it's crazy because you can get a book at 3 a.m., you know, nobody understands why, but you can. So yeah, it's very nice to walk at 2 a.m. around Corrientes, and yeah, that is the Obelisco.
Yeah, this is famous, and I remember one of my biggest memories from Buenos Aires is the libraries, and I remember going to these libraries and bookshops, and yeah, this is one of the famous ones. I don't know if you can see this full screen.
Yeah, that is a tip, and we open a library inside the Ateneo. Yeah, it's amazing. That place is incredible.
It's amazing, and Buenos Aires is full of those beautiful places. The architecture is really plenty to, you know, just the buildings, the areas, some more modern, some more classic. I really remember walking for so long. I spent 3 weeks there, and I really felt like I haven't seen anything. I left with like feeling that I've been to 1% of the city, and I think this is why so many digital nomads now get stuck only in Buenos Aires for a month, 2 months. It's very similar to Buenos Aires, to Medellin, where people come for a week or 2 because you heard it's nice and it's on everyone's itinerary, and then you find yourself spending an entire season and a lot of people moving there, and it's part of why the community is growing. And I wanted to ask you, after the neighborhoods, how do I meet with nomads? Are there specific website? Is there like a Facebook community, or it's a WhatsApp group? What will be the way to connect with the community?
Yeah, you can follow our Instagram. I can share here in the chat. It's Nomads VA. So you will there a lot of activities. Last week we launched a silent party. You can see the pictures of that event. It was very nice. And also you can go to Meetup platform. You will find there all the meetups of digital nomads. And also we use WhatsApp. So you can join WhatsApp groups for digital nomads. There are WhatsApp groups for housing, for community, for parties, for everything. Also, you can just go to Palermo and see what is going on, because
so you'll find them. Yeah, they will find you if you don't find them. But
the community will find you.
I share the link to, and I guess if there are co-working spaces, it's always a place to hear about events and connect with people. I will say a word about Bônus BA because Nomads BA, because we haven't spoke about it much. You know what? I'll let you, and then I will complement this. What is Nomads BA?
Nomads BA, it's the official account of the Buenos Aires government. They run a program for digital nomads. We work with them, helping them to connect with the community, and also we launch events together, like the conference, Nomads BA conference, every year. This year was the 3rd conference, so you was there. It was very nice to
listen.
Was
there. Thank you.
The city is really taking care of the digital nomads who come here, because they really want them to enjoy the city and to have a good experience. And that's crazy, they have lockers in the airport. So from the first moment you are in Argentina, you can open a locker and get all you need for the city, like a SIM card, like the card for the metro. We use card to move here. And also you will get a lot of information about Buenos Aires, discount. There are many companies who work with the program, so they give discount. So once you're in the airport, just go for the lockers and you will have access to a lot of benefits just to come here. Also, the government launched the visa. They were working to create a visa for digital nomads. So you can stay here if you want for 1 year. Many people is using that. To be honest, they really take care of digital nomads because they want the city to be a nice place for people who come from other countries. And also they are teaching, they are also working with companies here in the city to help them to improve their service. Also, they explain how is the community of digital nomads, and they are really developing the co-working space and developing a lot of companies here to give, a good service for this kind of community, which is not a traveler and is not a tourist. It's not the same. And if you will stay for 3 months in Buenos Aires, you will have time for visit the city, but also you will need to work. You need to, you need to visit different places. You need to move on the buses. You have to open your SIM card to have a phone here, and they really give solution for all this kind of need for digital nomads.
Yeah, amazing. That's great, and I just want to emphasize and maybe highlight a few of the things you mentioned, and also share my experience. I worked with multiple governments and destinations and board of tourism from around the world. It can be Albania and Montenegro and Croatia and Spain and Portugal and Canary Islands, and some others. And I haven't seen any other government that put as much effort as the Buenos Aires leadership and municipality. This account, the Nomads BA, as you said, it's the city official account for digital nomads. It's an active account. They post, they update, they create event. They did the conference just a month and a half ago. You mentioned something I don't know if everyone understands. When you arrive to Buenos Aires as a digital nomad, there is a gift waiting for you in the airport in a locker with a transportation card, with a discount to if you take a taxi, or a discount to the city to get to the city, help with some, I think, hotels or places to stay for accommodation with discounts. You get a SIM card, and a SIM card in Argentina is not easy because you need to register with your passport and open your phone and register it. This skips this process for you, and this is just free and really out of care. It's not another city that gives you a nice map in the tourist information and go explore by yourself, but they're doing a lot. And together with you, Tato, that you bring also the accommodation, but also the community and getting people together. That's really amazing. And that's why Buenos Aires is not a place to go for a week and just on the way to Bariloche or somewhere else, or Mendoza. It's a way to come and plan a month with a one-way ticket, because you never know if you fall in love with the city or with the girl or with the guy or the food, and not plan ahead. And it's just amazing to see how much effort they're doing. I recently got to talk with some people in the government, and really to see the passion. What I liked about the conference in June is there was, I think, 60-70% locals. And if you go to Bansko Nomad Festival, if people went to the Chiang Mai Nomad Summit, if you go to Bali events, I just came back from the Canary Islands last week. Those events has between 0% locals to 10% locals, 20 if it was the Canary Islands that had pretty good representation, or even more. But to see Buenos Aires, the involvement of the locals, and also how we as nomads, not just there to use the resources, but really encourage and inspire the locals and have this conversation with them. This is not how we often feel in Thailand, that we're using the locals, but there is a big contribution and there is a lot of collaboration between the community. So this is something that for me as a digital nomad, it's super, super important. I was talking today with Facundo, that's the guy who connected us, and we talked about me coming to Buenos Aires in September, and I told them if I'm in Buenos Aires, I want to meet with the locals. I want to meet with the youth. I want to meet with young entrepreneurs. I want to do skill share, help what I can, share with me what you want. And this is something Buenos Aires excels at, and it's just it's just something really important for me to highlight, because maybe at the beginning when we travel, we don't pay attention to these things, but as we travel more and more and become more conscious to the impact that our lifestyle has on the people around us, it is important. There is a question that someone, Matan, is asking, what is the best way to exchange money? And if you can talk a little bit about the difference between the blue rate and the official rate of the peso. This is a topic that keep coming up.
Yeah, it's not easy to understand. I know many people come here and it's like the first question, what is going on with the dollar? So yeah, we have two rates. We have the official rate. So when you go to the bank and you ask for pesos and you have dollars, they will give you 250 pesos for, $100. That is the exchange official. But if you go to, we call the unofficial places to exchange, they will pay you the double for the dollar. So many people use unofficial places for that, forget the money. But there are another company called Western Union, and you can send the money to Western Union and you will get the blue rate, which is expensive one, the 550 pesos for $1. It's very easy to use. Many people are using that. You should write Western Union because it's very useful. Yeah, also it's not cool to get money from the ATM because they will pay you the official rate. But if you go to Western Union or if you go to the unofficial place, you will get that rate, the good one, the blue.
Yeah. You basically get more than double the rate, and your money will stretch much longer. And I will also encourage the people to spend double. And
it's not easy anyway.
Pamper ourselves.
Yeah, but also here, as I told you, a rent here, like a flat per 1 month, is like $700, $800. You also can spend more if you want, depends each person. But you can get a nice flat in Palermo for $700 if you want.
And again, also, Palermo is the nicest neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, also if you go to the supermarket with $100 per week, I think you can get a lot, like all the food you need for the week. But I know that many people like to try and to explore the city. So maybe
we don't cook.
Yeah, nobody cooks. So yeah,
well, at least I don't cook. I know some cook. But yeah, Buenos Aires is such a good food scene, which it's also almost a crime not to dine out 3 times a day for those meals. Friends, if you have any more questions, we have about 10 more minutes with Tato. So if you have any more questions, please. What I will add later in the Buenos Aires page on Digital Nomad Israel is the link to the community. There are already links for Nomads BA where you can sign up to get your gift at the locker, and more information in Hebrew about the city, like top places to work from, to cafes, etc. So check the guide later on. So if you have any more questions for Tato, this is the time to either raise your hand or type them into the chat. Anything else you want to share? Because I have a couple more questions.
Yeah, also I recommend few cities here like Bariloche. You can be in the middle of the mountain and it's not expensive. Also, we have Jujuy, which is the north of Argentina, where you can see the celebrity of the Pachamama. So it's something very nice, very different. And also you can go to the south, which is the last point of South America, which is Tierra del Fuego, Ushuaia. There is a lighthouse there in Tierra del Fuego, and that is Jujuy, Salinas. You can see
yes,
that.
I just Googled this today for the first time, and
It's crazy. You know,
Wow.
it's a
Yes, it's insane.
yeah, it's a white
Unreal.
it's a white desert there. You know, you put Salinas, and it's like the end of the world. It's all white, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, it looks out of this world, and I'm trying to squeeze it into my visit this September, October. Yeah, so much to say. Israelis, by the way, we get 90 days visa free when we arrive to Argentina. I'm not sure what's the policy about doing a visa run. I would expect that Argentina. Do you know if tourists are doing visa run, meaning they cross to Chile for a day and come back and they get another 90 days?
You are just 1 hour from Colonia, Uruguay, so you can go there, spend the day, and come back. And it's not expensive. Yeah, it's just 1 hour, and yeah, you can do that.
So it's easy to spend more time. Also, Uruguay is beautiful. A small country, but it's a nice place to visit. But definitely not the size and attractions that Argentina has to offer. Argentina is on every Israeli bucket list, pretty much, or at least 50% of us. We do the army service as mandatory, and very often after this we take our backpack and we go travel. Half the people go to the east, India, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, all these parts, and half the people go to do Latin America mostly. So many people already been, but I think Argentina as a destination for Buenos Aires is really becoming the true gem of South America, picking up rapidly. Everybody's talking about it now. A lot of people are going there, and I know it's going to be a busy summer. What are the best seasons, by the way, seasons, or not seasons, but months? What would be the best month to visit, like, weather-wise and not too many tourist-wise?
Yeah, I think that October and November are, month with nice weather, and it's not full of tourists. October and November. Then you have December, and January is very hot here, but many people is coming on January. And then you have February and March, and many nomads stay here until April, which also, is not cold, but to be honest, I think the nomads stay here from October to April. And then it's coming the winter in July. Also, you can go to Bariloche and ski there. We have a lot of snowboard place. So if you want, and if you like the winter sport, you can go there in Bariloche. But to be honest, just from October to April is the best. The best moment.
Okay. And so now is winter and spring is coming soon, like September, October. Then we have summer, and people stretch the season a little bit after. It's very typical for nomads. I love to travel in the edge of each season, because always summer is the busiest, especially since summer in Argentina is Christmas time for many. Then it's full of tourists and prices go up. So that's good.
Yeah. We say that September is not hot, but it's like 15 degrees, so it's not that bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's for me. Everything above 10 is good.
Yeah.
I have this beautiful sunset in front of me right now. I don't know if you can see it's a golden hour here. I have another question coming from a community member, Ayelet. She's asking. She's asking for more details about neighborhoods and numbers. So, like prices, I will comment that this information exists in the guide in Hebrew that we have on the website, and I will enhance it as I learn and people contribute. So anyone who has information can contribute in comments on the guide, or just write me, and I'm happy to add more information, especially if it's firsthand experience. So you mentioned number of neighborhoods, and $1,500. What's the bare minimum? Like, can I live for $1,000, for $800?
The salary here, it's like $500, $750, yeah. So we live with that, and we also go out. If you go to the restaurant, it's full of people. So I think that with $800, you can live here without problem. Of course, you don't live in Palermo, but you can go to San Telmo and get a flat for $400 per month. It's very cheap. So
you know, both of us are males, and I hate to ever speak or put myself in the shoes of a female, but from what you hear in the community, what you hear the voices of females and women in our community, how do you think, or how do they sound their feeling of walking around the cities of Buenos Aires during the day, during the evening? We all carry a laptop with us. Typically, we have a smartphone. Do you feel like are people getting robbed? Do you feel dangerous? People feel dangerous, or you just go out and wave your new MacBook and iPhone 14?
yeah, I think everyone knows Nomad List.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are now, I think, number 12, but in summer we used to be the first one. And that is because we have a very good rate in almost everything. If you check Buenos Aires, we are 12 now, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking now. Yeah, safety is rated at okay.
And yeah, you can see everything there. The cost is good. The safety is very good. The fun is amazing. And I will be honest. And safety is okay.
It's South America.
Yeah, it's and I will be honest with you, it's not correct the internet here, because you can find like 50 gigabytes in any place, and yeah, it's not. But also,
yeah,
they say
internet I heard is never a problem in especially in Buenos Aires and in the big city.
have a good
I was there
here.
I was there 6 years ago, I think it was, and the internet was fantastic over the phone with SIM card, and in the call in the hostel there were no many co-livings at the time. I was staying in a hostel and it was fantastic. I could stream the NBA playoffs no problem on my laptop. Yeah, it's amazing that really Buenos Aires is at the top of the list in Nomad List last summer and earlier this year, and I'm sure it will be there as it's getting warmer.
And something very important, we have free hospital also. And in case you have a problem, because many digital nomads always are looking for Wi-Fi and internet, but they don't check, the hospitality, and also they don't check the hospitals in the cities. So you have here 24-hour hospital for free. So any issue you have, of course, it's good that you don't use the local service, but in case you need, because you really need, you can go for a hospital for free, and they will give you a good attention. And in many countries it's not like this. I used to travel in other countries, and you don't feel safe when you have something, like a situation like sickness or whatever.
That's important, and it's something that definitely a conversation that we have, and it brings me to one more question that I want to ask, and unless there is other people want to ask questions. English. I'm terrible with languages. I've tried Espanol, and I've tried German, and I've tried Bahasa Indonesia, and I can barely speak English. So someone like Israeli speaks decent English. We're quite proficient in the language. So is it possible to get around with just English?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can go to any place, order food in English, they will understand. Also, we have broken English, to be honest, but if you need something like very easy to ask, you will have a reply without problem. But if you have to, if you want to have a deep conversation in English, you will find few locals who speak very well, know most of them, but you can move with your English, then you will be okay.
And a great opportunity to study Espanol. I specifically love the Argentinian accent. It's first on my list, second, first to the Colombian, which I like, but as you said, that Argentinians are a little bit posh and think of themselves the top of South America, and it's also the accent and the language. It's a beautiful language, and I really encourage people, if you go there, go study it, try even just to get some of the basics, enough to strike a conversation with a date. That will be nice. How's the dating scene for nomads?
Oh, we Argentinians love expats, so you can open your Tinder if you want, without problem.
Tinder is the platform to go, or do I need to take any other?
said,
Yes, okay.
We have all the platform here, so don't worry. We have a lot of way, but yeah, many people just come here and never go back. So you never know. Maybe you fall in love here in Argentina.
And we talked about Tinder. So there's Tinder. There is like apps like Uber. You can order a taxi. You can order food. You can do everything on your phone, correct?
Yeah, you can use. I will recommend Didi, which is a Chinese app for it's like Uber, and also we have Globo. You can order food. We have everything. Yeah.
That's I wonder who's here on the live right now been to Buenos Aires already, and who's planning to go to Buenos Aires. As I mentioned, not definitely, it's booked. I'm going to Buenos Aires in the end of September. I just don't know if it will be 2 weeks or 2 months. I started to Google today and started, Mendoza, shit, I need to do this. Cordova, I'll go to Cordova. Jujuy, I'll go to Jujuy. And yeah, it's like, I feel like there's so much to see, and I'm a city boy myself. I love big cities. I like people, cultures, expats, locals, different languages, different foods. I love this, like to walk on the streets and having people around me. I best work when I sit in a coffee shop with 30 other people having conversation around me. So I definitely look forward to have this vibe again. I remember I took the first taxi I took from the hostel to some bar. The driver was his name was Daniel, and he was like Jewish, and he spent time in Israel. It was so random to have this conversation on my first taxi ride there, and so I'm a big fan and fond of this place. I see Matan just replied in the chat. He's been already 5 times. Okay, that's solid. And you love the city. And what Matan said, I was there more than 5 times, loved this city. And when we had few posts on the Facebook group recently, and when we talk about destinations every day, because this is what digital nomads talk about, and people love Vietnam and people love Bali, and people has a lot of good things to say about a lot of destinations. But I feel like Buenos Aires, it's always passion. It's like, I love it. It's amazing. I had incredible times and incredible memories. It's really not a place to just go and park yourself. If you want to focus only on work, go somewhere else. But if you want to really live, and this is my personal recommendation, and this is what I gather from the community and people around me. If you want to go live epic life, have an amazing 3 months, 6 months in a city, have an apartment, not feel locked because of the money, because you go to Bali. Bali is expensive now. You need almost $3,000 to live comfortable life. And in Buenos Aires, you can have amazing life for $1,500, $2,000. You will live incredible life and pay for all your dates. And it's just an opportunity to enjoy it. And also, I love to spend money to inject more money to the economy, to pay it forward to the community. So it's a place where you can do it even with more generosity. So that's just my message to the friends here, to the people who watch us, to the people who consider going to Argentina. Nothing to think twice. plan in advance. Obviously, it's a long trip, it's a long flight, so you don't go for 10 days just to come back to Europe. But part of your journey to South and Latin America, be ready to spontaneously spend 3 months in in Buenos Aires.
And you should check the stadium of Boca Juniors.
Yeah, that's I think on top 10 of any travel guide.
You need to have that experience, to see a match here in Argentina, because they see.
We're talking about football, cadurego.
Of course, Boca Juniors is one of the most famous clubs here in Argentina. If you want to see the passion of our country, you should go there. You should see a match in Boca Juniors Stadium. It's incredible.
I'm more of a basketball fan and player, but I know this is an experience. It's like going to watch a tango dance, or taking a tango class, or trying the local asado, even if you're vegan. So it's one of the things that you really must do, as you said, like to feel the vibe, I guess, of Argentina and what it means for the people. Yeah, wow. I have 2 months until I come to Buenos Aires, and I can't wait.
At least.
I can't wait to be there. I'm now in Lithuania, and I can't say it's too interesting. It's nice. It's very this is the place to focus. I have my desktop and I work because there's not much to do around. But I look forward to meet you in Buenos Aires, to connect with the community, with the locals, celebrate life in this magnificent, colorful city, delicious city. And if I just to thank you, to wrap up, and I know it's longer than we had, and to thank you very much again for saying yes when I just reached you. Hey, would you join? Yes, I will do it. And for everything you've done for the local community in Buenos Aires, for the digital nomads, for being an inspiration with your entrepreneurship story. That's amazing. So thank you. And everyone, really go to Buenos Aires, contact Tato, get with the community. You'll see him with his mata in a co-working space, I guess. But yeah, like go to Buenos Aires, really. That's, I think, the message here. And again, Tato, thank you very much.
Thanks for the time. I will be honest, we have already a lot of experience for you. So you will love when you come here to Buenos Aires, our city. You will see. We are preparing some, special experience for you. And muchas gracias a todos. I can see that Matan speaks Spanish. And thanks for the time. So see you soon, Dean. Well, it's gonna be amazing.
Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. I wish I could wish you all of this in Spanish, but all I can say is like una hamburguesa, Coca-Cola regular y papas fritas, por favor.
Practice in Duolingo.
Yes, I need to do a lot of Duolingo work before I go there. It's such a beautiful language and so useful and so nice to speak, and everywhere you go you hear the language. So
gracias. Ciao.
So yeah, thank you, מתן, מנהלת, מיטל, אביעד, זיו, רונה, כל האנשים שהיו פה throughout the live. Thank you.
Un placer. Bye bye.
Thank you, Tato.
Ciao.
Have a good one, and I'll see you in BA.
See you soon, bro. Bye.
Ciao, everyone. Bye. תודה רבה כולם, חברים שהייתם פה, שהקדשתם זמן לעצמכם, וגם קיבלתם את טאטו בנוכחות שלכם. כיף לי לעשות לייבים כאלה, לשמוע על מקומות. אני מלא בהתלהבות על בואנוס איירס, מאז שחלטתי שאני קופץ בקר שם ולראות את כל העשייה שלהם. באמת עיר, וזה ספציפית העיר, זה מה שמעניין, כי בכלל אני רואה את זה בהרבה מדינות עכשיו, ערים מסוימות פונות לנוודים דיגיטליים, להבדיל מבדרך כלל משרדי תיירות של מדינות שקוראות לתיירים, והם עושים מאמץ מדהים, וגם בלי המאמץ שלהם, המון נוודים מגיעים לשם, הם יותר נכון התחילו את המאמץ, כי הם ראו כמה דיגיטל נומדס מגיעים, הם פתאום מוצאים את עצמם בטופ 5 בנומד ליסט, ומבינים שיש להם שם איזושהי הזדמנות, גם בשביל לשפר את החיים של המקומיים, כי בכל זאת יש לנו תרומה גדולה מאוד שאנחנו מגיעים, הכסף שלנו ומבזבזים, אנחנו מעריכים את העונות, אם בדרך כלל המקומיים רגילים שה-Airbnb שלהם או המסעדה שלהם פעילה בנובמבר עד מרץ, פתאום עם הנוודים, יש להם פתאום גם פעילות בספטמבר ובאוקטובר ובאפריל, והעונות מתמשכות, וזה לא רק בבואנוס איירס, אבל בשביל זה אנחנו כאן היום, אז אני חושב שזה חלק מהתרומה שלנו, וה-way that we paid back. בסופו של דבר אנחנו פריבילגים, שיש לנו את האפשרות לעלות על מטוס, רק 30% מהאנשים בעולם נראה לי על מטוס, אפילו פחות מזה, ולטייל ולעבוד מכל מקום, ולחיות את האורח חיים שיש לנו. אז לכו טיילו כל העולם, באמת יש המון מקומות נפלאים, וגם תצאו בבואנוס איירס, חודש, חודשיים, 3, לא תתאכזבו, קשה להתאכזב עם מקומות כאלה מיוחדים. זה תל אביב בלי הפגנות, עם חנייה ואוכל זול, אבל טעים. אז זהו, תודה לכל מי שנשאר פה, love you, תודה שאתם עבדים דיגיטליים ישראל, אם אתם עדיין לא במועדון אקספלור, מגה ממליץ לכם להצטרף, יש לנו מאוד מלא, המון פעילות, ובחודש אוגוסט יש לנו ביום ראשון הרצאה בנושא נדל"ן בארצות הברית, ביום שני יש מפגש לנשים בלבד, ביום שלישי יש לנו הרצאה על ניתוק תושבות בעקבות הרפורמה החדשה במס הכנסה, ברביעי יהיה לנו מפגש מאסטר מיינד, בהמשך החודש יהיה לנו מפגש בתל אביב, כל הזמן קוראים דברים, אם אתם נוודים, אם אתם ממש ברצינות בעניין של להיכנס לנוודות, ולא רק לגלול בפייסבוק, שזה אחלה ואני מת על זה, מועדון אקספלור זה בשבילכם, ואני מזמין אתכם לנסות את זה, אם תסבלו נורא, אני באהבה מחזיר את הכסף, אבל זה לא קורה, אף אחד לא סובל שם, באמת אנחנו יצרנו קהילה קטנה ומיוחדת, אז אני מזמין אתכם להיות איתנו גם שם. זהו, עד הלייב הבא, ועד שניפגש בתל אביב ובואנוס איירס, אוהב אתכם, תמשיכו לטייל, תמשיכו להגיד כן, ו-go explore, צ'או.